Hey, what do you say? Welcome to another edition of the Running Journey, episode 130. I don't know how many, but this one is a very good one. We've been talking about this Cross Manitoba Bike Across Manitoba, 24 years of sobriety, 24 hours of biking, my brother's idea, conceived, and now it has come true. So this episode is a recap episode. Special guests, none other than Hey Ho, Let's Go, Hey Ho, Simo, Chris Morissette, Victor Loet, my brother, and I play host to these guys as we talk about the success that was their trip across Manitoba. Now, in this episode, I largely stay out of it. I did about 300 kilometers. I wasn't able to finish the Cross Manitoba bike. I wasn't ready for it. I guess these guys are just too strong for me. And I tried to follow them as long as I could. And we talked a bit about this in this episode. But I'm at peace with that. This was tough. This was so tough. These guys biked a very long time, 15, they ended up biking like all day, pretty much finished right around 10 p.m. or 9:30 p.m. at the border. They battled obscene rain, sideways wind in their face. The heat was moving up. There are all sorts of things all day, bike issues, flats. The RV failed on me, my RV. We had sprung a gas leak, so total improvising. Anyways, these guys did it. They battled through. And this episode is a testament and a celebration of their accomplishment. The first ever Cross Manitoba in one day bike. They did it, these three guys. So sit down, buckle up, enjoy the episode, guys. I love it. It's a celebration of sometimes when you set your mind to doing hard things, you're rewarded. And these guys got rewarded. So hope you enjoy the show, guys. All right, guys, welcome to the Running Journey. We got a fantastic episode for you today. It's pretty exciting to be with a trio of winners and the first three to have ever completed the Cross Manitoba Bike Across Manitoba in one day. I'm here with Charlie, my brother, Tetro. Congrats, Charlie. I'm here with Simo, Chris Morissette. Congrats, Simo. I'm here with Victor Loet, Le Rapide. Congrats, Victor. These three guys biked across Manitoba in one day, and they did it in style. Today, we are all about celebrating their achievement and hearing about it. It's a recap episode, unlike any other. Three of us, plus me, talking about what was the toughest. It's got to be one of the toughest things all of you three have ever done. So congrats. Thanks for being here. Charlie, how do you feel today?
I feel amazing. I actually don't know what I feel like. It's like hard to process actually a little bit right now. Very happy, very grateful. It's similar to how I felt that when I qualified for Boston the first time. Similar to my best marathon in Boston. So yeah, I feel great.
You're like emotionally drained, but you're not depressed.
No, I'm still on a high.
That's awesome.
But hopefully it lasts a bit longer.
Yeah, so. You might get another day of that high. And don't worry, if the down comes, it'll pass. Like you're doing a lot of activity right now. You're in a big, heavy week. Simo, how you feeling? The Le Grand, as Victor called him. Le Grand. How you feeling, Simo?
I feel pretty good. Honestly, I feel unbelievable. Slept super hard and just still getting lots of messages from friends and family and people reaching out, people asking, how can we donate and all this kind of thing. Like, just lots of people care a lot about this. And I don't know how to describe the feeling. I'm still kind of feeling the high. I had a really tough time sleeping last night, just kind of thinking about everything. Once I slept, obviously I was coma, but it's been like a good couple of days here, and I feel really good.
And to be clear, we're recording this 2 days after the completion of the Bike Across Manitoba, 24 hours of biking for 24 years of sobriety in support of the Bruce Oak Foundation or Wellness Center or Foundation. Victor, how do you feel today?
I'm feeling good. I was feeling pain in the calf during the Manitoba crossing. It's still a bit, but it's not that worse. It will pass in the week, I think. I was for a swim this morning. I was feeling great. Still, I still feel the energy of the crossing. In fact,
The drain. Victor, you're saying your calf was hurting. Dude, every time I was following you and we were going up a hill, you're like standing on your bike, grinding, pounding through. I'm like, how is he still going that hard, this guy?
but I think it was more the aero position. I was feeling more pain in the aero position because I'm not sure if it was the calf or the hamstring.
Okay.
It was at the junction with the behind the knee, in fact. When I was more straight on the bike, I was feeling less pain. But it was a bit painful, but I will say 3 out of 10. Very small. And more during the cold. When it was more hot during the day, I was feeling better.
Okay, it is a long recap because you guys ended up biking 15 hours. You finished at 9:30 p.m., which was exactly on schedule, a tiny bit ahead of schedule, mostly because you guys decided to power through those last 3-4 hours. There's a lot to dissect here, but Charlie, you want to just quickly remind us why we were doing this? I know people have heard it on other episodes, but on this episode, how did this start?
Well, to me, it's I think it just came as an idea when we were just talking in a podcast one time, and it came as an idea of a fun challenge that we could do, and then Victor contacted me, and he's like, "Oh, I wasn't even thinking about it. Victor contacted me, he texted me, he's like, "Oh, when are we doing this?"
Because
Like,
I saw Victor at a race, and I was like,
expecting us to do this year. And I said, I don't know, when do you have time off this? And then he gave me a couple dates. And the date that ended up being the exact date of my 24 years anniversary of sobriety. So then we decided to make it. I decided that it would be nice to make it like a celebration for me of my 24 years of sobriety. And then we thought making it for charity would kind of add to it. So I think in a nutshell, that's where it came from. It kind of progressed over. It's been like 2 years in the making, this idea, I guess, almost.
This podcast has been good for stirring up interesting ideas. So for what it's worth, there's a lot of wasted time on this podcast, but there's a lot of good shit that comes out of it, Charlie. That's one of them. This unbelievable thing that you did. Simo, talk us through the logistics, that first few hours, that first day where it's Friday night. We're meeting at my house. We're making our way. Tell the viewers what we were doing.
So we decided we were going to meet at the RV at your place at 7:30. We're going to pack the RV and head to the Saskatchewan border together as a team. And it was kind of exciting. So I planned on sleeping before, and it was just like impossible to not think about this, and I couldn't sleep. And anyways, we ended up packing your RV full of food, and I don't know how many bikes we had. We must have had 6 bikes, 6, 7
I think we had
bikes
6
total.
bikes, yeah.
Some at the front, some at the back, some inside, precious cargo. And it was like, was it about like 3-hour drive? I'm not sure. You and I tried to sleep in the back, and then it was pretty tough. I think we were all pretty excited. So
Victor, I remember you in the first stretch. You're telling me you're having a hard time staying awake. What do you think about Charlie's decision to get us to start at midnight? How do you feel about that?
I think it was the best decision because anyway, the night is hard, so it's better to get it at the beginning of the trip rather than at the end, because for when you ride for 20 hours anyway, you will have a night. So I think it was the best decision to start at midnight, and it's also good for the challenge. You can tell you did it in one day, one calendar day. I think it was the best decision.
Yeah, had you started like at 8 a.m. or something, you would have had your full night's sleep, but you wouldn't have got it done in a day. You wouldn't have got it done in a calendar day. It would have been too tight. You'd have to start at like 5 a.m. and then would you have actually slept? And so the best decision, Victor says, Charlie. So hats off to you. Where do you guys want to start that first stretch in the dark? I was with you guys that stretch. And full disclosure for those that don't know, I quit at about 300 kilometers, so I couldn't follow you guys. You guys were fast, so I was there for the first 300.
So I was there for that stretch. We're going to talk more about this in another episode, but what do you guys remember the most? What do one of you three remember the most about that first kind of 4 or 5 hours before sunlight was up?
I think,
go ahead.
The feeling of I wanted to sleep. I was thinking about my bed. And it was hard. When I was leading, it was easier because the effort was a bit higher. So I think because the heart rate was also higher, it was in fact better at this time to lead for me. But then when I was behind Charlie or behind Chris, I was feeling a bit more sleepy.
Yeah, you led a lot of that first chunk. I remember you, and I was like, why does Victor want to lead so bad? And now I understand. You were falling asleep.
It's similar for me. Like there was some times where like, if I was following most of the time as I did most of the ride, but when my lids would like drop down. But there was a lot of like that road. It was kind of fun because it was different, right? It was that 2-lane highway at the beginning.
From Kola to Verdun.
No, from the border to Kola, the
Kola to Verdun.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, Kola to Verdun. Yeah, that was kind of fun because it was different than what we had. And then there was still those northern lights sometimes, which was kind of cool. But yeah, I had a hard time staying awake a couple times there.
Yeah,
you, Chris.
Yeah, it was kind of fun to get going, but I was a bit white knuckle. Like it's just even with our lights and everything, it was just kind of tough to see where we were going. Like there's so much debris on the side of the road and whatnot, and it was just kind of like you don't know where the bumps are. Everything kind of comes quick, and then I don't know. I just get cold so easily, and I started to get really cold. And I was starting to get sleepy. So those two things off the hop was like not the best start for me. I was like, oh man, this is going to be a long day. It's kind of the feeling of Utah creeping back in again. But I mean, it wasn't so bad. I knew the sun was going to come up and we were going to have other things happening. So
did either of you three, just a quick one-word answer, did either of you three think at that point that you might not make it?
No.
Okay, good. So Simo, you were cold. Victor, you were tired, and Charlie, you were just a rock still. So
so talking about the cold, it was cold. Like I never thought that I would wear a sweater on this ride biking, but I had a full-on sweater, the least aero I've ever been in my life, I think.
Yeah.
And I do need to say something. I think one of the reasons that you were cold is because the heart rate was low because you were pedaling a little slower than you thought you would, right? Because you guys were kind of waiting for me there for a stretch in that block of 4 or 5 hours, that first or 5, 6 hours. I kind of kept saying, hey, can we slow down a little bit? And I think you guys were doing a little slower than you thought you would probably, right, Charlie?
No, I think we were about what we thought we would.
I think it was pretty close.
It was pretty close to what we thought, but it was just honestly that part was part of it. Like I hadn't run. It's not a pace that I'm that familiar with, but also it was just cooler than I'm used to because I think it was more exposed to the wind and more like But so I was just surprised I was that cold.
Yeah,
biking is not like.
We can get to it later, but I think starting off at a slower pace was probably what saved us in the end. Like,
get into it right now.
Well, no, I mean, I don't really have too much to add other than that. Like, it's just I think you want to go out hard or a little bit harder, but like I just don't think it would have been good for us in the end. I think going at that probably perfect.
Like Chris, like I'd say like probably the first half was almost like pretty close, right? In terms of effort wise. And then we started pushing a bit more, but yeah.
And that's largely because I was still there and I was kind of holding these guys back a little bit. I wanted to slow down a little bit. So talk to me about nutrition and hydration. Like people who don't know what goes into this. If you're a runner, you probably have no clue the nutrition and hydration that goes into cycling. Vital, you cycle a lot. Maybe talk us through but you're not great at nutrition, Victor. I think you underfeed yourself. But anyways, Victor, I'll start with you. Talk to me about what your plan was to eat and drink, just like basics, real quick. What were you planning to eat per hour, and how much were you planning on drinking?
My plan was to do as usual. I try to eat every 30-40 minutes, to eat like Rice Krispie or anything like this, and to drink as much as I can. I took attention to drink even at the beginning when it was cold. I didn't want it to drink, but I drank as much as I could at this time, because for me drinking is more important than eating when I'm biking. So I did it like this. I managed it well, and so I was eating bars during the ride. And when we did break, I was eating a mix of rice, beets, and tofu inside. So yeah, it was great until the end, because at the end I was feeling a lot of acidity in my stomach. I don't know where it came from, but just I think a mix of a lot of electrolytes, a lot of just chocolate and things like this in my stomach. It was a bit hard. So at the end I was almost no more able to eat, but I needed energy as well. So yeah. It was good that it was not 1 hour longer or 2 hours longer, because
I saw your heart rate at the end. It looks like you pushed pretty hard. Simo, how about you and the food? You thought you were leaving on a 4-month journey, I think, right? When you packed the RV?
Well, I just kind of wanted to not leave anything to chance, have some options. I know that when you first start out on a journey like that, you think you know what you want to eat, and then like there's times where you're just, man, I wish I had something different. And just wanted to contribute to the team and make sure everybody knew that there was lots for everyone to.
You did great, dude. I ended up crushing all those cookies and all the stuff you had. I ended up eating all of your food. So
those granola bars,
my mom made those
granola bars.
Cookies, yeah.
Oh, your mom's cookies. I had like 20.
Yeah, I had a lot of those cookies too. And Charlie, you were just kind of eating every stop and drinking every stop. Did you guys find it troubling or difficult to time your hydration so that you wouldn't piss too much?
Yeah. So I had a really hard time at the beginning. I don't know what was going on. In the first 4 hours, I drank half a bottle only. And I peed like 8 times. So I don't know what was going on. I was, and then after that, it started being a bit more normal. But so I was just drinking a little bit at a time, and then I would maybe drink like half a bottle at each stop, and I wasn't drinking that much, I feel. But
talk to me about the team dynamics, Charlie, and how like people would like, because I like the P's and the switching of the leaders and stuff, and how you guys would decide what was happening on the flow.
Yeah, so I think we would just call it out. If someone needed to pee, we would just say, okay, someone would yell at, always me, pretty much yelling out, hey, I was afraid. Can we stop?
I was afraid before that it was always going to be me, because I'm like constantly having to when I'm on the bike, and I was like, oh man, these guys are going to get so annoyed with me. But for whatever reason, it wasn't me this time. I guess I just had more sodium than you did.
Yeah, when I took your sodium, Chris, you gave me sodium in Portage, I think, when I started, it started getting better, just the straight sodium.
Okay.
So at first, though, I think we were all stopping, but after a while, we kind of started doing like, okay, we'll just slow pedal until, like, if someone goes to pee, you just kind of slow pedal ahead, let them catch up after. I think it was just, we just played it by ear. A lot of this was just played by ear.
Okay, another question for, sorry, go ahead, Simo.
Yeah, there was just a lot of communication and a lot of patience with each other, and a lot of like understanding that we all have different needs. So yeah, it was good.
Okay, Simo, Charlie, back to you on logistics. So you had mapped out this Excel spreadsheet we talked about in the last episode, planned stops at different intervals in kilometers. And how did you guys find Charlie's map? Did you guys know about Charlie's stops, and how were you learning about it? And did you find that the breaks were long enough, short enough, good enough? Victor or Simo?
Yeah, it was a very good plan, because it was a stop at approximately every 60 kilometers. It was very good mentally to know, okay, I'm not going for 500 kilometers, I'm going for 60. And then 60 again.
Were you breaking down that 60 into smaller chunks in your mind, Victor?
Yeah.
So how were you doing it?
Sorry?
How were you breaking the 60 in your mind?
No, I was just thinking about, okay, it's maybe 2 hours. And I was checking like the watch, and I was okay. That at that time it's, for instance, 6. At 8 we are right for sure, or before. So yeah, I was just checking like this, and it was good to have this stop. And I think we took shorter break as we planned, but it was better as well because otherwise we'll be cold. We'll have to warm up again and everything. So just short break, and every 60 kilometers, it was good.
Can I
Yes,
can I comment on how breaking it up? Like, to me, it was weird because we would start and I feel fresh like the first hour of every leg, like felt so easy, and then the last 40 minutes, hour, like it started feeling like, okay, are we gonna get there soon? And even though but it was like that every leg. So for me, it felt like that a little bit until the end. Until
and then we really needed those breaks. Like there was a few times where we're like, okay, like let's take the time here and like really regroup. Make sure you sit down. Make sure you drink as much water as you can. Make sure you eat. Like take your time. Like we need a reset.
Yeah. We were supposed to eat at the McDonald's or the Tim Hortons or something at, was it Brandon or Portage, or I don't remember, but both of them were closed, right?
No, it's just the Brandon one was closed.
Oh, the McDonald's was closed. Okay. So, but
we had so much food. I was like,
I know. It was like I wouldn't have even eaten McDonald's like there. I would have, I was very happy to eat the oatmeal cookies that Simo's mom made. And, the leftover pasta that Charlie had. And what do you guys, so speaking of the people, someone want to address kind of the crew, maybe Simo, I'll ask you about the crew and what was their role in the event?
Well, we had Diggs, Diego, and my dad and my stepmom Mavis at the start kind of lead us out, and then later on, your parents Annette and Claude joined us, and it was like I don't know, it was just a really good team effort. We needed everyone, and like it was all hands on deck. Like we always never really realized how much we need these people to support us, and like they were all always like 2 steps ahead of everything, and just like always ready for us. And like it's kind of tough ordering around your parents, but like they were just like more than happy, to help us. And like just again the unsung heroes. And I think like speaking to them after, like I just got the sense that they were just like super happy to be part of the team. Like it really was a team effort. Like I can't overstate that enough.
Yeah, it was so much fun with Norm and Mavis, and they were like Norm, and he knew what to do with the bikes and all that, and Mavis, she was giving us updates. She was like right into it. She was giving us updates at every stop where we're at compared to the pace. And then one funny story about Mavis, she was so excited that we were gonna do this, like 30 kilometers left. I thought there was 35 kilometers left, and she goes and they drive beside me, and she tells me 30 kilometers left, and I was so happy. It was just instead of 35. But yeah, so like they were into it. It was nice.
Yeah, they were really into it for sure.
They were. And Victor lined up some of the media that came out. Victor, you're a journalist by trade, so I guess you drafted the press release, sent it out, and that stop in the Headingley.
Translated into English, so I sent it to every media, and 3 of them responded. So we gave interview to La Liberté, Radio Canada, on CTV in English. So it was good. It was good to have them. In fact, I receive press release every day at the work, so I know how it works, and I know a weekend during the summer there is not a lot of things to do as well, so they were all happy to have us and being able to do an interview with us and talk about our story. So I knew from the beginning it was not just a press release send. I knew from the beginning we'll have response for that.
Nobody's ever done this. Nobody's ever done this, right? Like it's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, and with the charity side include with it, it was like a very good story to share with the media.
It was, absolutely. I want to take you guys through that next. I jumped a bit ahead with the media because that was at Headingley, but that next kind of block when the sun came up, all the way to, I don't know how you guys divide it in your head, but call it the next 20% or so, or the next stretch. Do you guys recall any funny stories in there or anything that happened? And you guys are feeling strong. The sun is up.
I was like, yeah, we're almost done. Like we're basically done now.
Yeah. So when the sun came up, that was right after Brandon. And when the sun was coming up, I remember telling, I could tell Vital was like still a little bit sleepy. And I remember telling him, hey, in French, I told him the sun's coming up. And I don't know, that kind of moment sticks out to me when just kind of noticed the sun was coming up.
It was beautiful too. Like I thought it was stunning, and like it kind of gave me some energy, and just appreciating the moment, and like just being out there with you guys. Like I was like, okay, this is pretty cool now.
Yeah. And before the beginning, that night part was the part I feared the most. And so after, when the sun rays, I was like, okay, I think we did the hardest part. I was not sure. I'm not sure if it was the hardest, but mentally, it was pretty hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are crushing through. You're, right through Brandon, right through Portage, and then you're kind of making your way to Winnipeg. And then I remember, Charlie, you referencing. So at this point, you've done more than half. Half was in Portage, I think, right? Or just past Portage?
Yeah, Portage was about halfway, I think. Yeah,
not quite, but close. So in total, it was going to be about 485 or something like that kilometers. So you're kind of almost at halfway there. Your plan's still going, the nutrition's still going, your body feels good. Still, all three of you look like you were like dialed in.
Well, I would say that section to me was when I was in the most pain.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. It's when that wind was hitting us from the side, and just my neck started to hurt. My shoulders were hurting. My hands were hurting. Like my legs were fine, but everything else was like, I had a hard time. Like there was just some pain in the body as I was going through it. And it felt like, okay, if this gets worse, this is going to be so hard, because we were not even halfway yet. Right. So it started getting pretty hard in terms of not the cycling, just the managing, like the little pain of just being on a bike, right?
Were you using anything for that? Were you using chamois cream and muscle relaxant and all that?
No, I didn't use anything. So because it wasn't that, it was more like just my neck.
Oh, because you wanted the medal for not using any cream at the end. They give you a medal, right? Yeah. If you don't use any cream.
Well, Simo got it.
I didn't either.
Oh, you guys both got the medal. You guys got the additional, the no cream medal.
Tom, did you use cream?
Yeah, I use cream.
He doesn't get the medal. He doesn't get the no cream medal.
No, and I think you play mind. You kind of build things up in your head at that point, because you're only a portion of the way into it, and you're like, oh, this is going to get worse, even though you don't know it's going to get worse, right? Actually, it started getting better once we got past Winnipeg. So it was strange how that was the worst part for me.
Yeah, and I think we kind of skipped over Portage. Like we all had a little bit of a siesta there, and I think like I walked into that RV and I was sleeping and already dreaming before I hit the bed. Like I fell asleep for about 10 or 15 minutes, like on command, and I woke up from that little nap, and I was like a completely different person. Like I
had an
explain to you how different I felt. I was like completely rejuvenated, like I had an 8-hour sleep.
I was trying to catch up to you guys.
Well, on a flat.
Flat with a bad chain. Victor, did you get a nap there in Portage?
Yeah, but I think 2 minutes maximum, no more. I just closed my eyes, and after I was awake again.
But Victor, I remember I would go into the RV and I'd go grab a bite, and I would look at the couch, and your head was always just tilted back on the couch and back in the corner, and you were just looked like you were napping like 30 seconds, 40 seconds here and there, any chance you could.
Yeah.
So I was napping, and you know what woke me up is I heard, oh, he's got a flat. I heard Norm say he's got a flat. So I'm like, I woke up, okay, I'll go fix that. I'll go put a disc wheel on or whatever.
Oh, when I showed up, yeah. How far behind you was I at that point? Half an hour or something?
I don't know, 20
15 minutes, 15, 20.
20 minutes, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So nap in Portage, new man, Simo. It's kind of like Charlie when he did the backyard. He went for a 15-minute nap. He felt like a new man, right?
Oh, it was insane. I think that's like, I don't know if I didn't have that, I can't really imagine how things would have went for me, to be honest. That was just a game changer.
I actually debated biking to my house and taking like a 3-hour nap and then like keep going, so that I thought I still have 2-3 hours to spare, right? I thought. But instead I quit at the Nix Inn. At the Nix Inn, you guys must have felt pretty strong. You guys looked so strong.
Yeah, after that, because when we crossed Winnipeg, crossing Winnipeg was so good. Instead of just having field around, having buildings, having different landscape was very good.
Yeah, you guys took like Wellington Crescent, and then the trail on Fermor Harrow, and the trail. So you guys took like a path right through Winnipeg, right? So you saw people, you had conversations, you said hi to people, right?
Yeah, people came out. I had some friends come out to cheer us on, and I went over the beach.
You had a lot of fans there, Simo.
Simo's popular. Look at those guns he's got. Look at the arms he's got. No wonder he's popular.
Just before, I want to talk a little bit about the section between Portage and Headingley.
Sure.
That was a little bit harder than I thought it would be, because the wind is coming from the south, and we're kind of going slightly south, and we had straight south wind. So the forecast was saying southwest wind, and it was a straight south wind. So we were actually slightly against between Portage and Headingley, even though
I remember
for the first time. So that felt a little bit harder than I was expecting.
Yeah.
But then the city was great. City was so much fun. Victor was just like making the hard turns on the trails, and like with his road bike, he was crushing it.
Yeah, hopping curbs and driving through.
Oh yeah, he hopped the curb. He's like, "Oh, we got to turn here," so he just hops the curb.
Yeah, it was super fun to watch him just kind of like motor around. It was great.
Okay, and you guys make your way to basically the Mint at the corner of Fermor and Lage, and then I saw on your Strava, Charlie, and I was talking to my mom right around this point, and Simo, you got a flat there, right?
Yeah, I got a flat, and like right when I got a flat, like I heard my mom and Roger come by, and they're like honking their horns, waving. I think my dad and Mavis and your parents both had a vehicle nearby because we lost the RV.
Oh yeah, you got to tell. I'll tell the RV story.
Sure.
So my RV got a gas tank leak, and Diggs worked all night to patch it the night before. So he'd patched it. There was no leak. We were fine. Everything was great. And then somewhere, I want to say Portage or Winnipeg, it started leaking, and it could smell the gas. So it wasn't safe to continue. So we had to pull the RV from the trail in Winnipeg. So that means no more RV. That means no more resting in the RV for you guys. That means no more like the bag of clothes, the spare bikes, the food. Like we all had to figure out what we were going to bring. And my parents and Norm and Mavis kind of picked and choose what they thought you guys would need. But there was no more napping for Victor on the couch. There was no more laying down on the bed for Simo. Like you guys lost a pretty important piece of the puzzle there, which makes your battle way, way tougher. So anyways, you lost the RV, you're going through a flat. So now you don't have your spare bike. You don't have your spare tires, right? Because they're back at Marco's.
Well, I had a spare kit on my bike, and I had everything I needed, but I gave my quick release tool to my dad, and I said, hold on to this. I do not want to lose this. That's what takes off my tires. Like I can take my tire off with it.
You know what? That's funny, Simo, because I remember you had it on your bike and you said, "Oh, you gave it to your dad instead." And then right after, it was like karma.
I just didn't think that we were gonna lose. I don't know. I just like wasn't thinking that we were gonna need it right away or whatever. Like And anyways, I just didn't want to lose it because for whatever reason, I gave it to him, and I needed that tool to get my back tire off to change the flat, so I didn't have it. So then we were like kind of making phone calls, and they all happened to be right there. And I don't know, I guess everyone unloaded the RV and just threw a bunch of crap into the back of the vehicles. And amongst all that crap, Charlie had an Allen key set that worked. And so we were able to use that. I think your mom, Charlie, brought it out or whatever. And I used the Allen key set to pull off the tire, and Vital ended up changing the flat for me. I had everything else I needed. So.
Charlie, you got to tell me that story. You told it to me yesterday when Sima was like, "Oh my God, I got a flat. What am I going to do?" And what did you say?
So first thing that happened was him and Norm went at it a little bit because Norm was like, "Yeah, that hex key will work. I'm telling you, that hex key will work." He's like, "No, I need my tool." Sima was like, "I need my tool," and then Norm was like, "Just try it." And then eventually he tried it. It worked.
Yeah.
After a couple times of trying, it was a bit of a struggle, and then
I wasn't sure. Like, I just had always used this tool, so I just figured that that's what I needed. Like, I didn't know another tool would work.
So Norm was insistent that it would work, and finally it did work. And then you're like kind of panicking. You're like you haven't fixed that many flats, I don't think, a couple times. And I see Vital, and I'm like, he's probably fixed like 20 of these in his life. So I'm like, hey, why don't you just let Vital do it? And then
step aside.
Let the boy play.
Within a couple of minutes, we were back on the road.
Vital just stepped up and changed the tire.
Oh, yeah. It took him like 3 minutes. It was done.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Vital, man. That's cool. You've changed quite a few tires, Vital?
Yeah, I'm used to it, unfortunately. We change mine often because, as you saw how I ride, sometimes I cross the grass and everything. I jump over the sidewalk. So, yeah.
Okay, so I got to ask you guys now. You lose the RV, you lose the support. You're down to 3. Not that I mattered, but you're down to 3. There's still like 140K or whatever left. It's still a bit of a stretch, and you can see in the distance, the clouds are a little ominous. Like at this point, are you starting to think, oh my God, this will be shitty maybe? Or are you still pretty confident, Victor?
I was still confident at that point because after Winnipeg, I was feeling a lot more energy. After crossing Winnipeg, it gave me a lot of energy. So I was feeling great. But when we started to leave Winnipeg, then at that time, I was more in pain because I was feeling more the wind. It was the side wind. It was impossible to get any draft. So for me, the Portage section of Charlie was my Portage section was after Winnipeg. In fact, it was more painful at that time for me.
Yeah, well, there's a stretch there where you guys go south east
from Winnipeg to Steinbach, more or less.
Yeah.
So the wind there was almost in your face, almost against the wind there, or like at least 60%.
We like it wasn't directly into the wind, but it was hurting. Like the wind was not helping.
Yeah, I'd say it was
hurting.
45-degree angle. I was
yeah. Well, maybe not that much, but yeah.
It was hurting a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was a big wind.
Yeah, it was a strong wind.
It was gusting to 40, 45, I think.
I don't know. I was working hard and we were going like 30 kilometers.
No, it was a big wind. It was a big wind. It was a big wind.
It was just kind of relentless. Like it was like just kind of like it's loud and it's annoying, and it was just like, it was just hard.
Who's pulling here? Who's doing more of the pull? I guess there's less pulling because of the wind, right?
So I did like Vital started off for like 20 minutes, and then I pulled for like 45 minutes, but apparently it didn't do anything because the wind was sideways, so there wasn't much drafting. That was the hardest I worked the entire ride. Those 45 minutes was the hardest I worked. And it was like we went like 30 kilometers an hour the whole time. So
but you say 30 like that's F all. But I mean, you're into hour 16 of your day and you're in a big headwind. Like that's still fast, Charlie.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just working really hard at this point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From a guy who was averaging 26 over here.
Yeah. But as far as the conditions and stuff, at some point I was like, I don't care what happens. I'm going. We're just going to keep going no matter what. Doesn't matter what happens.
Okay. So you're past Winnipeg. You're chugging along. You're like, okay, let's just hammer these out. We got 4 or 5 hours left. Let's just do this. And then all of a sudden, boom, big biblical. Go ahead, Simo.
Well, sorry to cut you off. That was
a pretty aggressive cutoff, but that's okay. I'm over it.
We turned the corner. There was a stretch between. There was a stretch right after the Steinbach turnoff where it kind of turns to go a little bit more north. And did we lose Charlie?
Yeah, we did, but that's okay. Keep going. He'll jump back.
And we got like a crazy good tailwind there for like a little section between there and Richer. So yeah.
So I was just gonna ask you about leading into the storm, like the biblical storm. Like it was really bad. I was following it. I was following the Doppler, following the radar, and then I calling my mom. I'm like, oh my God, are these guys? And I told my mom, why don't they just pull over and wait this thing out? Because you guys where did it start? In Richer? A little bit before Richer?
Yeah, so we stopped in Richer, and I would say Vitod probably, what was it, like within 10 minutes of leaving Richer, it was like an onslaught of rain.
Yeah. Did you guys crush some food in Richer? Like there's a lot of options. There's a Subway, there's a Shell, or the Nesso, there's a Double S.
Yeah, we stopped at the Subway.
Me and Vitod had a sub.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, so you get out of Richer. You are now less than 100 kilometers from the end.
Yeah.
80.
Yeah, when Mavis told me, I thought it was more. When Mavis told me it was 49 to Prada and 52 to the end, I was like, oh, well, we're pretty much done. So that was just 100 kilometers, but so I thought it was, we had 120 or so left.
Why didn't you guys stop during the downpour? Like I don't.
Well,
it looked like it was first of all, and I kind of wanted to finish not in the dark was kind of my thought.
Simo, what were you saying?
Yeah.
I didn't want to stop. We didn't have anywhere to stop. Like if we had the RV, we could go in and towel off, warm up, change clothes, whatever we needed to do. But to stop and wait it out, like there's nowhere to go. Like sitting in the vehicle, like we were so soaked, it was like we got out of a pool. Like it was.
We had no spare clothes. We had no spare clothes. Nothing. So
yeah.
Yeah, I did tell my mom, I'm in Winnipeg. If you need anything, just call me. I'll drive out whatever they need. It would have been a 45-minute drive. I would have been there. Like I live right there. Anyways, I told my mom that whatever you guys need, I'm in Winnipeg. But she said that you guys were continuing onward. Ho. Vital, did you want to stop?
No, I don't want it. The same reason as Simo, because I knew if we stopped not having anything to change, it will be the beginning of the end. I knew if I was feeling too much cold, it was my second main fear after that. It was to feel too much cold and not being able to turn the legs on, without pain and everything. So at that time I was like, okay, I need to continue to push as hard as I can and not feel cold, even if it was raining. Because after 30 seconds of rain, we were all wet and nothing was dry anymore. So the only solution was to continue to push.
So you said, okay, it's cold, I'm just going to keep pushing. Simo, did you have a bit of a rough stretch there somewhere on the side of the road there at one point?
Oh yeah, it was getting really bad for me. I was just like jackhammering cold, like I was like chattering, shivering, and like I was just kind of those thoughts start creeping in, like how long can I sustain this? It wasn't necessarily like physical, like I was tired. It was more like I was so uncomfortably cold. I'm like, I can't do this all the way to the Ontario border if it's going to be like this. Like something has to change. And I was like, it was really, really tough. And I rode up beside Charlie. I'm like, Charlie, when we get to Prada, I'm like, we need to, like, do you think they have truck like showers at the truck? Like can we have a hot shower there at the truck stop or something like that? Because like I can't do this anymore. I was so cold. And Charlie kind of like, I don't know, like we kind of thought about it. We talked it through, which was just like an incredible help for me. But he was just like, why don't we drop the hammer? He goes, I'll pull, then you pull, and we'll just all just kind of trade off. And we're going to just drop the hammer and we're going to warm up here. And then when we get to Prada, we're not going to stop at the gas station because we're just going to get too cold if we stop. We'll just fill up our water bottles, eat, then go. And then we're going to finish this thing. I was like, oh, okay. And then I think from there on, I just kind of took off like a rocket. And I got my.
But remember, Simo, I told you it's 18 minutes away.
Yeah.
And then you went hard.
He's like 18 minutes to Prada. And I'm like, 18 minutes seemed like a lifetime. I was like, I don't know, this isn't good. And I'm like, I gotta go dark here for a little bit. So I just like put my head down and I went for it. And I think we got to Prada. Like there's like a little corner and like a bushy area. And I saw that Shell sign and it was 10 minutes, not 18 minutes. And that was just like a holy shit. We're getting close. Like that happened really fast. And it was just like another kind of boost. And I started to warm up once I started to pedal. I was pedaling pretty hard. And yeah, that was just kind of where things kind of turned around for me. But like it was pretty grim there for me a little bit. I was struggling.
That was your like. Go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah. No, he was struggling. I was feeling for him because I was like, I know he didn't have the gloves, so your hands were a lot colder than me and Victor, and you just got the low heart rate, which like, so you get your extremity, and you're so tall, your extremities get cold. Like I don't get cold like that, so I was feeling for you because I know when you're cold, like there's nothing you can do about it. But at the same time, like I didn't know I knew you weren't stopping, so I didn't know what the solution was. So I think the idea of going hard kind of worked out. And then I was saying, like, on a normal day, Simo, me and you can do this last stretch in like an hour and a half. So anyway, so I was kind of trying to encourage there, and then you were pumping yourself up at that stop in Prada, and
the self pep talk.
Yeah,
let's go. I can do this. Stop being a quitter. Yeah. Let's go.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You were fired up.
I was fired up, and I was like, it was like a pit stop. I'm like, what do we need? Let's do this as fast as possible to put something back, fill up your water bottles. I don't want to waste any time. And then I looked at Vital. I'm like, we're pushing. You ready to push? He's like, wait.
Vital, were you on the same wavelength?
Yeah, because I knew that if I was pedaling too slow, I will feel the cold. So, and once you feel cold, it's impossible to warm again after 14 hours of bike.
Dude, you pushed hard at the end, Victor. Your heart rate was really high the last hour and a half.
Yeah, I was as hard as I can. And I think 20 kilometers before the end, I got dropped by Simo. He was pushing too hard, so we slowed down a bit. And
Simo dropped you? He didn't care. He's like, I'm finishing.
No.
I'm kidding, Simo.
My dad pulled up and he said, or Charlie pulled up and said, Vital is a bit behind. I said, and I'm like, no, we got to finish together. And at that point, I like had already warmed up enough, and like I was kind of feeling better. So I'm like, we got to finish.
We got a better stretch of weather. But so yeah, after Prada though, you went hard for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I think Vital, I don't think it was your fitness that's the reason I dropped you. I think you just weren't able to consume any more calories. I think you were pretty bonked at that point.
Yeah, that was that time where my stomach was too much acid. I was no more able to eat. So yeah, I just tried to drink as much as I could, but my drink doesn't give me a lot of calorie.
That's crazy that you still finished. Like that's unbelievable. Like I saw your heart rate. You hit like the 160s?
I don't know, but I measured my heart rate with the watch, so it's not too much.
Still pretty accurate if it's a good watch. I don't know. Either way, you worked hard, and that's after an entire day of biking on no sleep. Everyone out there, like I need to pound the table here and tell everyone who's listening how unbelievable this feat is that these three guys did. Charlie's kind of blowing it off like it's no big deal, but it's freaking impressive on zero sleep, without a change of gear, without your nutrition, without you like just kind of figuring this all out. The three of you went across the province in a day, averaging over 30 kilometers an hour, 32 or 33 kilometers, whatever the heck you guys did. Biking is just like, it's obscene. It's so impressive. And congrats. Like I can't, and you guys are going to get to the finish line part here. I do want to finish this because I want to ask you guys questions. So let's finish the last stretch here. Whoever wants to take the lead and talk about the last stretch here. But I just need you guys to know how impressive this is. So frick, that's impressive what you guys did. Charlie, how was the last stretch? Because I do have post questions after. So let's wrap up.
Yeah, for me, the last stretch was like a victory lap. Like, I don't know. I was like giddy already, even like 30 kilometers away. I had a couple of times where I thought, man, it's going to be hard. If I get a flat, it'll be hard to ride Simo's bike, but I think I can do it.
I'll figure it out.
So because they didn't have any of my repair stuff, they didn't have all my spare stuff. So I was like, oh, I have to ride Simo's bike if ever there's a flat, which is way too big for me, but I would have figured it out. No, I was super giddy. I was so pumped. I had lots of energy. It was kind of a surreal type of this idea that seemed crazy 2 years ago was finally coming. And the thing is that I was also thinking about, man, how hard would this have been had I been alone? And like, I was so grateful that like Timo and Victor and Rob, that you guys had all like, been, I'm talking about the finish line, but these were the thoughts that were going through my head, even like 20 minutes away. And then sometimes I'd stop and I'd look, and it was really nice scenery out there in the white shell.
Oh my God. It was like the smells changed, and the views of the lakes, and all of a
Where
sudden,
did the victory ride start for you, Simo?
Falcon Lake. Well, there's a few things. So my stepmom Mavis, when they drove by and they said 30 kilometers left, that's when I was like, let's freaking go. And then there was
shivers.
I was like, let's go. And then Charlie rode up beside me at one point, and he looks at me and he goes like, I'm so freaking jacked we're gonna finish this thing. And I'm like, let's freaking get this done. And then like that was probably right around Falcon. And then like I wouldn't say that
15K, 12K left or something.
Yeah, maybe something like that. And like for whatever reason, the rain stopped and it got warm. Like there was like warm pockets. Like it was like I started drying off. The sun wasn't even out, but like I was dry all of a sudden. And at that point I just slowed down and like I didn't even care. I was like, okay, I'm good now. And I was just enjoying the scenery. Just that Canadian Shield is just so beautiful. Like it was just really nice, even though it dropped down to 2 lanes and there's these huge semis flying by us and all that. But like I didn't even care.
Going down the hill at 50K an hour on the shoulder.
What about you, Victor? Did you get into victory celebration mode at some point, or was you still like battling? And
no, after 15 kilometers before the finish, I was feeling better because I finally ate a bit. Even I was no more taking care of the acidity. I was like, okay, I will feel pain in the stomach, but I need to eat. So I ate something. And then 15 kilometers before arriving, I was feeling energy again. I knew that the finish line was 482 kilometers. So I was looking at the watch on seeing the kilometers going on. Yeah. And then the last 3 hills, I knew it was less than 1 kilometer before arriving, before the Ontario sign. On the last 3 hills.
Like 3 big hills in the last kilometer.
There's some serious.
Yeah,
I told you guys about those hills.
Well, we didn't care. It was like so much fun going up. We were crushing those hills. Like,
oh yeah, it was like pure adrenaline. I didn't even care. I was like, let's give me some hills. Let's go. Let's finish this thing.
Yeah.
How'd you feel right at the end, Victor? Right at the end. You saw the Ontario sign?
Yeah, I saw the Ontario sign. I was so happy. I was like world champion.
Yeah. You did your 2 arms in the air celebration.
Yeah.
How about you, Simo?
Yeah, no, I was like just it was surreal. Really, really tough to explain. Just seeing that sign and knowing that we were going to accomplish it together, and just obviously a lot of emotions going on at that moment. It's something that maybe I'll have more clarity in time to come, but it was just so cool. And then like just to have your parents there and my dad and Mavis there, and like it was just a really, really neat experience, and just to do it with these guys, and just to do it as a team was just an unbelievable experience.
Charlie, how about you? How'd you feel at the finish?
I was just I was in kind of shock, maybe, like that we had done it. I don't know. I was super, super happy. And I was, again, like I keep saying this, but it was like really what I felt was like I felt so thankful that Chris and Victor were there, and that even like Norm and Mavis and my parents, I was on top of the world. Me and Simo talked about the ride the whole way back. It was reminiscing. It was fun.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just pure joy. I think never felt like, I mean, it's very different. So in that respect, it's very different than, let's say, my other highlights in my life, which were like my running or like when I qualified.
Because it's a group of success.
Yeah, exactly. And it was kind of a unique thing. So
more like the backyard a little bit, but not quite like more group.
Similar to the backyard, yeah, a little bit. But this felt more like there was more people involved to make it happen, I think. Right. So it was
a lot of people gave up quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, I got about a dozen or so questions. I want quick answers. I'm going to go around. You're each going to get one question, and I want quick answers, and I'm going to move through them. Okay. Victor, what surprised you the most about the ride? Something that you never expected would happen. Quick answers. And I'm going to move through them.
Yeah. To see things that doesn't exist. I saw a zebra during the ride.
Really? Oh no. You didn't mention that.
It was a tree far away. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this tree looks like a zebra.
Yeah.
A little bit of a backyard. Boats 2.0 there, Simo.
Yeah.
Simo, what's one thing you wish the listeners could feel or experience from being out there with you?
That's really tough. Just like the brutal and the beauty of it all kind of all tied together. It's like anytime you do something really hard and you come out on the other side, it's just I guess a feeling that it's really hard to replicate.
You'll always have that. It's like you can encapsulate, put in a bottle, and go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, how did the meaning behind the ride, 24 years of sobriety, 24 hours of biking, change the way you approach the difficult times? You didn't have that many difficult times from what it sounds like, but I know you had some on the ride.
Yeah.
Did you rely on the meaning at all of the ride?
I'd say not really. I was kind of in the moment. There were some times where there was some doubt, and when that doubt crept in, I was like, well, I can't. I got to finish. So
I got to finish
because of the meaning of it. I had to finish, right? So,
Victor, you're summing up the ride in one or two words. How would it be? Let's say one word.
Excel.
Excellent?
Excel, like XL, extra large.
Extra large. Okay. Right.
Extra large, yes.
Simo, what's one moment you'll be telling people about for years when you talk about this thing? What's one moment?
Probably a combination of those moments at the end of Charlie talking it out with me and that finish line moment and just kind of pushing through the end was just like kind of an epic feeling, and I'll never forget that.
Charlie, if you could give advice to someone thinking about attempting something like this, what would it be?
Get some help.
Surround yourself with good people.
Yeah.
Victor, what did you learn about yourself from this ride that you didn't know before?
I'm able to give effort without sleeping.
Sleeping is overrated. All right, you heard it here first.
Wait, can I answer Simo's previous question about the thing?
Sure.
I'll tell everyone.
It's your podcast. Yeah.
To me, it was just hammering through that downpour for 2.5 hours. Like that's gonna be, to me, that'll go down in like the story I'm gonna tell everyone.
Well, because you would never do that, right? In real life, if you wouldn't just pound the living crap out of pavement at the hardest effort you can for 2.5 hours in the middle of nowhere ever, you wouldn't do that. No one would ever do that. And here you are doing it just because you had to stay warm. It's pretty unreal. Simo, you were gonna add?
No, I totally agree. Yeah.
Simo, how did this compare to what you expected, to your expectations? The ride itself.
I think it was probably exceeded my expectations. I think a lot of it was what I expected, but the feeling at the end definitely exceeded my expectations. I think finishing strong just makes it so much more enjoyable. There's so many things that could have went wrong, and there's so many things that did went wrong, but there's a million things that went right. And for us to finish, there's more that has to go right than goes wrong. And we had a lot of things on our side, even though there was some pretty tough stretches there.
I was on the phone with my mom and I was like, how are they doing? Like the wind, the downpour. I think this was just past, it must've been past Prada. And my mom's like, well, the cruise at 38. And I was like, no, I think your cruise is off, Mom. Like they're not going 38, Mom. Like that's like a race pace. And I was like, wow, I don't know that they're really going hard. And that's what the speedometer says on the bike. And I'm like, well, you're wrong. But they might be going 33 or 34. And then I saw your speed after, and I talked to Charlie. He's like, yeah, no, Simo was pounding the living with me. Yeah, we were going and we decided we'd go hard. And you guys pushed at 37. Like that's like, at the end of the day, you guys are pushing the hardest you pushed all day.
I had so much energy, Simo. Like after you pulled for like 20 minutes, I was like, I can pull for another 20 here. And I was so jacked.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That was fun. Yeah.
My heart rate wasn't connected to my bike computer, so I couldn't see it in the moment. But like when I checked after, like my heart rate like stayed pretty damn low that whole stretch too. Like I was like, I think it's the cool weather too. I was so jacked. It was so awesome at the end for sure.
Charlie, would you ever do something like this again?
There's a non-zero chance that I would.
I heard that from the interview at the Nick's Inn when you were chatting with I think it was Global News.
Honestly, I love biking so much, like that. These types of things are kind of fun. So yeah.
The whole time I was on the bike, I just kept thinking, why can't we just run for 15 hours? Why can't we just run for 24 hours? Isn't it way easier to run for 24 hours? I remember like, why do we have to be on a goddamn bike? I was so mad at you. Like, why do we have to bike? Why can't we run? And like, you were like, I heard the interview that you did with Radio Canada. You're like, it's the thing I love the most. It's the thing I love doing the most is biking. And it's like the one thing I like doing the most is biking. I was like, how does he like biking more than running? What is wrong with this guy? Anyways, it was interesting listening to you. And, I am proud of what I did. My 300K, I'm very proud of the thing because I don't like biking. I was not in a good mental space and I did it for you to support Charlie. So I'm very happy. I'm at peace with what I did. And it was very, very hard for me. And watching you guys go, I told you this, Simo, and I'm going to repeat this piece. I'm on my bike. I'm right behind you, and your bike is just emitting this perfect whirring, buzzing sound, and you're in perfect rhythm. And I look in front, and Charlie and Simo and Victor, you're all in perfect alignment. You're all in perfect aero, and you're all going perfect cadence. And I see you guys are all like just in the moment, in the zone. All of your bikes are making this perfect sound. And I look down at myself and I'm like, and I'm like, I'm trying to just keep up to you guys. I'm trying to hustle. And I was like, no, I'm not on the same team as these guys. These guys are on a different planet. And I want listeners to understand and appreciate that. I'm a pretty decent biker. You know, I can do 5 hours. I qualified for Ironman Worlds. I'm the Guinness record holder for fastest barefoot triathlon. And I couldn't roll with you guys. So that's pretty impressive what you guys did. So I wanted to comment that again. I need to highlight for the listeners how phenomenal what you guys did is from a guy who's actually done it. So congrats. Any other last words that you guys want to add before we wrap this episode up? Victor, I'll start with you. Do you have any final thoughts or parting thoughts or things you want to add that I didn't get to ask about?
Next time we have to do a documentary about any other
documentary. I could see you recording content in the first 4 or 5 hours.
Oh man, he had his camera always like taking videos. There was so many nice videos out there.
You're so good at that, Victor. I was like, zero chance I'm taking any content right now. I'm focusing on trying to stay with these guys, and here you are, just grabbing the sunrise, the northern lights and all that. And I'm glad that you got all that. There's quite a bit of video actually. I might be able to ask Justin to put something together. my videographer, just like a 3-4 minute, like maybe a couple sit down interviews. I don't know. Maybe we could put something together. Simo, what about you? Final thoughts, parting thoughts?
Well, just a quick one. I took 2 pictures the entire time, and one of them was Vitor looking at the Saskatchewan sign, and I don't think it was on purpose, like to have him in there or anything. I was just trying to take a picture of the Saskatchewan sign, and it had the Northern Lights or the Milky Way or whatever.
Beauty.
It was just beautiful.
Beauty.
And then the last picture I took was him like emotionally being like, "Oh my God, I can't believe we finished." And I don't think I did not plan on having him in that picture either. And it just worked out so
Those are 2 amazing pictures. Those are 2 amazing pictures, man.
Yeah. And then obviously just grateful to be part of this group with you guys. And the impact on my life that this has all had is just can't be understated. I think I've said that to you before, Rob and Charlie, and it's just
chance meeting at wherever it was.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's just insane. So,
and these 2 things that you've done, this 500K of biking in a day in the backyard, you did 100-miler and you did a 500K. That's pretty impressive. You two, Vital, you're impressive too. But those 2 are not many people could say they've done those 2 things.
Yeah.
Charlie, how about you? Final words? This is your thing.
I don't have words for how happy I am to have done this. So that's it. Let's get ready for our Ironmans. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simo, how many weeks till your Ironman? 4?
So for like less than 4.
Yeah, 3.5. Charlie, you're 4.5.
4.5, 5. Yeah, 4.5.
Vito, when is your Ironman?
Next year, Copenhagen.
Okay.
I should sign up for that one. I should sign up for that one. Go with
you. Should. You absolutely should.
That would be
way too short.
We're gonna crash your party, Vito.
Okay, sounds good.
Hope your mom has room at the end there.
Yeah, she has.
Mom,
there's always room.
Is your mom in Copenhagen, Victor?
Yes, she's living there.
And Copenhagen's one of the most awesomest city on the planet. Like it's so, I've only been there once, but I absolutely loved my time there.
Mm-hmm.
They like their cyclists out there.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Okay. Well, we'll stop here, guys. I will thank you all, congratulate you one more time. And if ever you're thinking that, some stuff is too hard, I got to tell this piece. I texted Cheryl about how impressive last night, your wife, Charlie, 2 nights ago. Like when you finished, I said, I can't believe they crushed it. Like I could believe it. And she said, that husband of mine, I said, Charlie's so impressive. And he said, yeah, he makes his dreams and his ideas come true. Like he makes his dreams into reality. And I was like, oh, that's powerful. Like he just thinks of something and then he makes it happen. So it's pretty cool. I'm proud of you. Thanks. Okay, so more miles. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. It was great. It was so good to be part of this. I'm so grateful to have rode with you guys for 300K, and I appreciate you guys. And remember, don't forget 5-star review. We need the love. We need the 5-star reviews, and we need the comments. Share this episode with anyone you know that is thinking of doing something crazy or likes to cycle or likes to do crazy things. We'd love for you to share the episode. Thanks, guys. More miles, less pace. We'll see you in the next episode.